The Disney princess is dead. From 1937 to 2021, every princess movie has lacked something called love a little more than the previous.
How did it all come to this, you ask? My end starts at the beginning. The very beginning.
Almost exactly 100 years ago, November 21st, 1923, a young talented artist named Walt Disney ceases operations of his company in Kansas City called Laugh-O-Gram on grounds of bankruptcy! Walt trekked westward to Hollywood, where his brother Roy recovered from tuberculosis. Less than a month later, Walt would sell a series of his cartoons called Alice's Wonderland to a distributor, who distributed the cartoons on October 16th of 1923. This day would become historically momentous as day one of Walt's company. Originally named Disney Brothers Cartoon Studio, Walt's brother Roy suggested they simplify the name to Walt Disney Studio. Disney Studios' popularity would increase when Walt conceptualized a new icon for their company, Mickey Mouse. Popularity and some financial success brought about Walt's greatest idea yet. In 1934, he approached his team with the idea for the most important movie in cinematic history, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the first fully animated feature-length movie of all time. It took 3 years, 300 animators and artists, and went 400% over budget. But their pain would not go unrecognized, and the movie would find its way to the highest-grossing movie ever at the time. And the most magical subgenre in film history was born: the Disney Princess. Snow White runs from the Queen. Snow White meets the Seven Dwarfs of Erebor. The Queen kills Snow White. The Queen kills herself. Then Prince Charming revives Snow White with true love's first kiss. Love is a necessity in this story, and after only a day, the dwarves and Snow White had developed a strong bond. When the dwarves learned of the Queen's attempts to murder Snow White, made like the Rohirrim and charged to Snow White's defense. And of course, Snow White would not have been revived if not for true love's first kiss. It would be degenerate behavior for Disney not to give audiences more of this magical genre. In 1950, Disney released Cinderella, and in 1959 released Sleeping Beauty, both iconic staples of the princess industry and epic tales of romanticism. Disney would suddenly take a massive 30-year hiatus from princess movies. Between 1959 and 1989, Disney focused on movies in different genres. However, of the movies released during this time, only a few rivaled the magic of the three forefathers of Disney princess movies. Disney was feeling tired of the princess genre. They had done something amazing, and instead of copying and pasting it 100 more times, the creatives tried to invent new stories and genres. However, money is nice. And in 1989, Disney released their first computer and hand-animated hybrid movie, The Little Mermaid. This movie encapsulated everything lovely about a Disney princess movie. Ariel trades her voice for some legs, but turns out the prince was into her voice. Ariel almost loses him because she tried to become something that she was not. A powerful lesson that changing yourself for others' approval actually makes you totally unattractive because people are wonderful as they are. Disney's next princess movie in 1991, Beauty and the Beast, also featured a mix of hand-drawn animation and computer animation. These movies marked a monumental change in Disney movies. For the first time in Disney princess history, efficiency was valued above artistic passion. Between 1991 and 2010, Disney put forth less popular princess movies like Pocahontas, Mulan, and The Princess and the Frog, and the migration from hand-drawn animation to computer animation was nearly complete. In 2010, Disney put forth a flagship movie, Tangled, the story of Rapunzel and her pursuit of freedom. Flynn Rider, or Eugene Fitzherbert, personifies a tremendous example of a high-quality man. He falls in love with Rapunzel and performs the greatest conceivable act of love when he cut Rapunzel's hair, freeing her from her evil stepmother, but also sealing his own death. Tangled was fully computer animated, and at the time it was said that this would be the last Disney princess movie Disney would ever make. Clearly, Disney's passion for their own genre was waning, but money is nice. In 2012, Disney Pixar released Brave. For the first time in the history of Disney princesses, this movie had no romance. What prevented Brave from completely incinerating itself was the love of a family, particularly Merida and her mother, but also her father and her rascal little brothers. In 2013, Disney quietly put out what could be argued as the greatest princess movie ever made in Frozen. This movie is all about love, and the primary story is about the love between Elsa and Anna. However, the story falls apart in the absence of Kristoff. Anna would have died alone in the snow had Kristoff not saved her. Kristoff had no motive to continue helping Anna, except for that he felt felt love for her. An unselfish love that was willing to give her up when she returned to Hans. This story crumbles in the absence of sisterly love and also in the absence of romantic love. In 2016, Disney released the nail in the coffin for the Disney princess genre. Moana marks the first princess movie in Disney history to be totally loveless. Moana's motivation for leaving the island is a line where the sky meets the sea. It calls her. Moana goes on an adventure with the help of the rock and defeats Ragnarok, which restores vegetation to Hawaii. There's some love for Moana's village, her grandmother, and her parents, but the story doesn't necessitate these relationships because it was the sea that called Moana. Audiences can relate to love stories because we all have love for the people in our lives, like parents, siblings, or romantic love. What essentially no one can relate to is an arbitrary call of the horizon. In 2019, Disney released their first and only ever sequel to a princess movie with Frozen 2. This movie is so bad that it barely warrants mentioning. Frozen earned enough money to be the 20th highest grossing movie of all time as it stands today, and Frozen 2 would thereby have enough hype to barely require a congruent plot. Frozen 2 stands today as the 13th highest grossing movie of all time. These are the only two princess movies to crack the top 20 highest grossing movies of all time today. The most recent Disney princess, as of the time of writing this script, is Raya and the Last Dragon, released in 2021. I hadn't seen this movie because I don't hate myself, but for the sake of the video, I watched it.
And what I predicted came to pass.
There was no romance in this movie, or love at all. Raya is motivated by finding some kryptonite that will bring her father back from the dead. But the story doesn't necessitate a powerful father-daughter relationship because Raya is more motivated by avenging her father than bringing him back. Moana and Raya tried to kill the Disney princess, but a lack of love is what truly killed the Disney princess. Why did Disney remove romance from their princess stories? How does falling in love invalidate a princess's individuality? The creatives at Disney themselves have tried more than once to retire their genre, but the studio demanded more profit from them, so every time they made another movie, a little less love was there until it was taken out completely. A Disney princess used to be an example of an admirable woman. Beautiful, generous, joyful, unselfish, and loving. This type of woman attracts a high-quality kind of man, which is a man as he should be, a protector. No such high-quality women or men are to be found in Moana or Raya and the Last Dragon. It's a perfect metaphor. Disney's first movie in 1937. The Disney princess is Snow White. She was killed by the loveless, jealous, selfish queen. Today she lies dead like Snow White, and we are like the dwarves who remember her beauty, and we won't leave her side and hope that somehow she might be revived. As Snow White could only be revived by true love's first kiss, our only hope for the Disney princess is that one day love might bring her back. Y'all let me know your thoughts and stuff. Share your favorite vegetable. I don't like any of them. I like steak and Sour Patch watermelon.